Hi, welcome to Get a Clue Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, C-L-U-E, about a game, or sometimes a list, and most recently, a lot of lists. And we're going to continue with a few more lists coming up. Now, I will say that by the time this video goes up, it'll have been like 10 days since the last video, because I usually record these on the weekend. And last weekend I was out of town, and so I never caught up with any videos for last week. So I am bound and determined this weekend to get videos ready for this coming week, and if possible for the next one, just so I can catch up a little. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that this is the first one I'm going to put up, which will be Monday after Mother's Day in the U.S. So happy Mother's Day to all those who are mothers, whether you're in the U.S. or not. I think May 10th was Mother's Day in Mexico. And so, my sisters would celebrate it with my mom because they grew up there. Anyway, side note. Today, the list is the games that are on my wish list still, that of games that came out in 2022. I own 27, 28 games that came out in 2022, but I have another 27 on my wish list. 5 of them are going to just be honorable mentions, because this channel is all about casual level games, and I have 5 on there that are medium level. Excuse me. And so I'm going to make them honorable mentions, but I still have another 22 games to point out. I'm pretty sure I did a list. I haven't checked. I've been so busy this week and this coming week. I did not check, but I'm pretty sure that I created a list of 2022 games that I have. Even though I probably have acquired 2 or 3 since that list. But I still have 27. Yeah, that's 54, 55, 56, something in there, games that came out in 2022 that caught my interest. There's a whole lot of other games that I'm not interested in, but these are ones that caught my interest, and I put them on my wish list, and I still don't have them. Excuse me, I have this frog in my throat, and it does not want to go. You should have heard me coughing before I started this recording, and I don't edit, so I'm sorry. Excuse me. So anyway, honorable mentions, and I'm not doing these in order of favorites because there's only like 2 or 3 of them that I've actually played, so I really don't know if what rank they're going to have. So I'm going to do it alphabetical, just simple alphabet. And so the 5 honorable mentions include Blood on the Clock Tower, which the manufacturer says 30 to 120 minutes. Oh, honey, no. If you play it right, 120 is definitely, you're not going to get under 100. No. No. So plan on 120 to 150 is norm. I've played it several times, and it's always been around that level of time. And it plays 5 to 20 players, and the cheapest I have seen it is $118, $120, but they're out of stock. Retail tends to be more like 170. I've seen at one time I saw it for 168. It's no longer available on Amazon for that, but I did last weekend when I was out of town. I did come across a game store in the city I was in, and that's going to be another video what I did get there. I did not even look at the price, but they did have a Blood on the Clock Tower in stock. So if it interests you, a local game store might be your best bet in finding one, because it is a little bit pricey for most gamers. So yeah, the cheapest I've seen is 120 and 170. So it's kind of like in that range. Okay, number 2 in honorable mention is Chai Tea for Two, which is a 2-player game. Well, they say 1 or 2, but there is a game called Chai, and this is Chai Tea for Two. It's specifically, there. Now, it doesn't seem to get a lot of love in Board Game Geek, but the type of game it is, kind of, it's not the theme that many war gamers or collectible card gamers, gravitate towards. So, I'd like to test it out myself. Number 3 honorable mention is Familiar Tales. They say it runs between 45 and 120, so 45 minutes to 2 hours, plays 1 to 4 players, and it runs around $51. Chai Tea for Two I couldn't find anywhere, so that might be a problem. That might be why the score is low, because not a lot of people have it. I could not find it. I did basically check Amazon, and that's the first place I went, just to find out the pricing, how easy is it on your pocketbook. If it did not have it at Amazon, I checked GameNerds.com, and then I stopped, because this list is too long to be going all over the internet looking. But if a game catches your attention, there you go. It gives you a rough idea, about $51. The next one is Midnight Murder Mystery, and that is probably the highest rank, and it's still a solid medium. It takes 1 to 1.5 hours, 1 to 5 players, and I could not find it either, so I have no idea how much it would cost, because no one seems to have it. I don't know if it was a Kickstarter and you just can't get it, but it's in my honorable mention wish list. And then the final honorable mention is Rise, and it's supposed to take about an hour, plays 2 to 4 players, and runs about $58. So those are my 5 honorable mentions. Now let's get down to the actual games. Okay. The first one is Birds of a Feather, and it runs 15 to 30 minutes. It's a nice short game, 1 to 7 players, and it runs about $25. So it's an inexpensive, basically a card game, Birds of a Feather. And it's kind of like an average, pretty good love on Board Game Geek, but Birds of a Feather. Birds are very popular, and this next one will prove it even more so, because the next one is called Bird Watcher. Bird Watcher takes 25 minutes to an hour, plays 1 to 5 players. It is loved, 7.3 on BGG, and it runs around $31. So it's Bird Watcher, which is another type of card game. Lots of pretty birds on cards. It's a theme ever since Wingspan became so popular. Other people are putting that theme onto games, and but again, my games tend to a lot of my games tend to be either set collection or pattern building, and open drafting and stuff like that. So that's what kind of catches my attention when it comes to this wish list, but not all of them are. Anyway, I'm just giving you names and some basic information. Then we go to Boop, which is a 2-player game, 2-player only, takes 20 to 30 minutes, and it's loved. It runs about $26. and it's an abstract game, except that the theme is cats, which is another popular theme these days. You have birds because of Wing Song, and you have cats because the same year came out Isle of Cats and the one that I have. Oh, what's the cat one? It's probably behind me, and I can't even remember the name of it right now. Yeah, with the quilt. It's Calico. Calico. Okay. Yeah. It's like, yeah, they came out one year and they were very popular. And so now we get a lot of we're starting to get cat themed games. And so Boop is one of them. Let me check something because I don't have it here. Huh. I'm going to add another one to my list right now, and I don't have any information about it, but I do know that it really interests me, and it's not necessarily the easiest one to get a hold of, and that is Cat in a Box. It's a trick-taking game, basic trick-taking, except that there are no... see, I don't even have that recorded on mine, so now it's 28 on my list. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the colors, it's not, in regular deck of cards you have spades and clubs and hearts and diamonds. Yeah, whatever those things are called that my brain has completely blanked on. Cat in the Box doesn't have those. And so, but when you play a number, you assign it a color. And for the rest of the game, that is, let's say you put down a 5 and you say it's a red. And so for the rest of the game, no one can play a 5 and say it's a red because it's already been played. And so the game goes on like that. And the choices of colors and numbers dwindle as time goes by. Anyway, so that's Cat in the Box. I don't have any information about it off the top of my head, but it really looks interesting. It's very popular and not easy to come by because it was so popular. I think we're waiting for another printing of it because it basically went out, was really popular, and I haven't heard too much about it. So, you can't get it. Anyway, okay, so we're done with the C's. Oh no, we're just starting the C's, Cat in the Box. Yeah. And actually that was out of order because before Cat in the Box would come Caesar's Empire. Caesar's Empire takes 30 to 60 minutes, plays 2 to 5 players. It's well loved and it costs around $50. And it is a placement, a tile placement type thing, or again, if you watch enough of my videos, you know that my nose starts to tingle after I talk enough. It kind of like it tingles up my sinuses. Anyway, so yeah, Caesar's Empire, of course, it's that Rome theme, which again is very popular these days. But it's a simple game. I mean, it comes in at a 1.43 on BGG. It's definitely a simple game. And personally, I think $50 is a little much for it, which is why it's still on my wish list and I haven't bought it. I haven't come up with a good opportunity to purchase it. So yeah, it is, where you place things, placement matters. And so you're trying to do something like that, and that catches my attention always. And of course, the Roman theme, anything classical, historical, anything like that catches my interest. Which the next one is Catherine, the Cities of the Tsarina. I have played this one. I do not own it. I played it at Dice Tower Retreat, and it's a little bit more thinky because you have to plan ahead, decide what is it that you're going to go after. Are you going to go for this city, and that city to group them, or are you going to go over here and do this, but leave that one alone. It takes it's a little bit more placement oriented, and so it's a little bit more, and it costs $48. That's the average thing. It's not a bright and beautiful board, but it's quite utilitarian. You have a map, and you have the cities, and you have, you know, the roads between them, you know, the lines that link them, and that's how you can move from one to the other and such like that. So yeah, it's not gorgeous like that, but it's a nice clean play. I enjoyed it. Now we go into the D. I only have one D, and it's delicious. Delicious, plays in 20 to 30 minutes. It is a roll and write, basically. Plays 1 to 100. Basically, how many papers do you have? That's how many you can play. It's by the same people who created the card games Sunset Over Water, Floriferous, and Herbaceous. It's the same company. Delicious. It's like they like the shush, thing, you know, Floriferous, Herbaceous, and Delicious. Yeah, okay, same people. Well loved, and you can get it for about $24. That's the nice thing about roll and writes. You can usually get them at a reasonable price, and so yeah. So we have Delicious, and like I say, it's a roll and write. It's kind of like a collecting, or collecting areas and such on it. Yeah. Okay, now we go into F, and the first one is First Empires. It plays in 45 minutes to an hour. Plays 2 to 5, and I couldn't find a price for it. Actually, I didn't even put a question mark there, and I'm wondering why I did not put a question mark there. So I'm going to I have Game Nerds open right here, and I'm going to see, obviously, Amazon did not have it, but, wow, it's on sale. It's $28 right now. Retail is $45, but it's $28 right now on Game Nerds. So there you go. Check it out. But it's also, let's see, I'll pull up a picture so I can see. It's kind of like an area majority type thing, where you are trying to create your empire and kind of grow your empire type thing. First Empires. The next one is Flamecraft. Those little dinosaurs, aren't they adorable? Flamecraft is plays in about an hour. Plays 1 to 5 players. It's very well loved, and it runs around $40 to $45, around that. If you can get it. I mean, 45 I found on Amazon, and I think 40 is what Game Nerds would charge for it, but they're out of stock. So, but yeah, Flamecraft, again, is kind of like a pick up and deliver type thing. It's like you're going there, each little dinosaur is in a different shop, and they're waiting on you type thing, is what I have understood of it. But it's the adorable little dragons are what catches everyone's eye. Great artwork, beautiful artwork. So, yeah, got my eye. Then we have Fife, capital, all caps, F-Y-F-E. And I have an asterisk next to it because that means that it hits really strong on my tile placement, pattern building. It has a lot of my love. Oh, I did skip one, so I'll go back to it after Fife. But it has all of those elements that are my one of my favorites. I like deduction, but this is the one that I tend to be drawn towards. And I only have 5 of those out of all of these. There's only 5 that fit that bill. So, yeah. But 5 runs about $44. And with it, with FYFE all in caps, it makes me think that it might be by the same company that does Azul, because that company, all of their games, at least lately, have 4 letters or 4 numbers, because 5211 is one of theirs. Reef is one of their games. All of the Azuls are theirs. But yeah, so Fife, it's makes me think that it might be from the same company. And if I remember right, it's really pretty, like tropical island looking out at the ocean picture on the cover, if I remember correctly. I might be mixing up with another, but I think that's it. Okay, so the one I skipped was Framework, which is an Uwe Rosenberg game. And Uwe does some nice, complicated, big games, but he also has done, especially one that is very easy to play, very loved, and that is, yeah, my brain just went blank again. Yeah, I have a lot of these senior moments right now. Yeah, and everything going on in my family too. Mm-hmm. Making a quilt. Yeah, I have 3 of them. It's like, why can't I think of the name of it now? Anyway, that is his simple one, and if I come up with a name, I'll yell it out later. So he makes those, but most of his games are more on the medium to medium heavy side. But Framework seems to be back in the casual level again. It's more of an abstract thing. It does have tile laying, but it's yeah, you're creating these patterns on the tiles, and it's really more of a abstract game. It does not have a real theme to it. Like I say, it's only like a 30-minute game, so it's not a big long game, and it's for 1 to 4 players, and it costs around $30. So it's not one of the super expensive ones either. So if you want another Uwe, the name almost came to me, and then it flew up. Patchwork. He did the patchworks. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I have so much on my mind. If it's not written down, I'm forgetting it now. Okay, so that was Framework by Uwe Rosenberg. Now we go to G, Gartenbau. Gartenbau takes place in 30 to 60 minutes, 2 to 4 players. It's well loved. It runs about $51. And it ticks off all my favorite things like tile placement, and pattern building and drafting and stuff like that. I have an asterisk next to it, which means when I looked it up, I glanced at the mechanics and went, yeah, asterisk. This one is one of the ones that really, but at $51, I keep on. I'm here like, yeah. I have games. I don't want to spend that much, if at all possible. So, but it's really pretty popular, which means the price ain't going down anytime soon. So I just have to play other people's copies. Okay, so we continue with green, with G. Green team wins. It's a party game. Plays in about 15 minutes or however long you want it to play, because it's a very laid back game. It plays 3 to 12 players. It's well loved and hard to get. It's hard to find. It's pretty well sold out. Game Nerds had it for $19, but they're out of stock. So I don't know where you could get it, but it's everyone has a card. That one side says green, the other one says orange. You start off on green, and a question is asked, and then you write down the answer that you think the most other people will say. And then everyone shows what they wrote down, and whichever, because usually it's a this or that type of question, this or that, and whichever group has the most who answer that, they remain on the green team, and everyone else goes to orange. And then, and when you're on the green team and you get the question right, you get 2 points. Then the next question, everyone answers it, and you show it. Now, if you are still on the group that has the majority of the same answer, then you get 2 points because you're on the green team. But what if you were orange now, and you got it right, you get 1 point, and you flip back over to green. If you got it wrong, you got on the wrong team and you were green, you go to orange. And it flips back and forth, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins the game. So that is green team wins. Okay, so the next one is a Phil Walker Harding game, which again, if you have not watched my Phil Walker Harding video, I did one with some of my favorite games of his, including some that are behind me, not anywhere near all of these, but some of them. And it's called Monolith. It's more of a, you're creating shapes to match an image on a card. You have pieces that are, it's kind of cube, but the cubes are attached in different polyomino, 3-dimensional polyomino shapes, Tetris shapes, but 3-dimensional, and different colors and such. So when you see something and it shows you that it should end up looking like an L, and the top one cube should be red and the next one green, and then another red and then a blue. You have to manipulate your pieces, and whoever gets to that design first, looking from above, gets that card, and that's worth points. And then you go and turn over another card, and everyone's working on the same puzzle, trying to get to it first. And basically that is Monolith. It takes around 30 minutes, plays 1 to 4 players. It's well loved, and it costs about $40. And yes, you can find it. And the next one is another Phil Walker Harding game, and it is one of my asterisks ones, called My Shelfie. It takes about 30 minutes, 2 to 4 players, and costs about $40. And basically, again, you're creating patterns, but you have a stand-up plastic shape in front of you, kind of like Connect 4, and you're getting tiles and putting them in so that they make patterns, and you're filling up your shelves with different items depending on what your goal is. And so it's pattern building, tile placement. You're not laying them down, you're placing them. And so yeah, so it's that kind of a game, and it looks really cool, and I love the everything about it. It's on my wish list. And then the next one on my wish list is Planet Unknown. I've heard so many good things about this. It's really a deduction game, which is my other thing. One of the other things I like to play. Not that I'm good at them, but I like playing them. Planet Unknown is a deduction game. It runs between an hour and a half-ish. Plays 1 to 6 players. It's very well loved on Board Game Geek. The only place I found, Amazon didn't have it. Game Nerds had a price on it, but they're out of stock. And their price was $57, but they're out of stock. So, yeah. Planet Unknown. I need to play it and see how it works for me. And then we go from P to Q, Quirky Circuits, and there's something else after that. I just didn't bother writing it all down. It came out this particular one came out last year, plays in 15 to 30 minutes. So it's a short game, plays 2 to 4 players, supposed to be cooperative, and it's well liked, and you can get it for $19. That's the cheapest thing. No, not quite the cheapest thing on this list, but for $19 you can get Quirky Circuits, something Luna, something, I don't remember it all. It's in my phone, but it's a short game. It's supposed to be easy, a good family level game. I mean, it's a 1.33, which is pretty low on the complexity scale, quite low. So it's more than Uno, but less than Phase 10. I don't know. Yeah. So Quirky Circuits, $19, 2 to 4 players, cooperative, cute little beings on the box. It's a really cute artwork on the box. So yeah, Quirky Circuits, which is okay. Now we go to S, and Scooby-Doo the board game. There's different Scooby-Doo games and everything, but you're looking for Scooby-Doo the board game, not board game, the board game. I'm here like, okay. It takes about 30 minutes, plays 1 to 5 players. It's well loved, but it is, as far as I'm concerned, absurdly expensive. $60 on Amazon. No. I'm sorry. Even if it's very popular and loved, no. $60 for Scooby-Doo the board game? No. But Scooby-Doo the board game? Yeah, maybe. It's on my wish list. I am very I have my eye on it. So yeah, so that we're getting close to the end now. The next one is Star Trek Super Skill Pinball. I have the Super Skill Pinball Ramp It Up, and I've talked about that in other videos. This is just Star Trek theme, and I like Star Trek. I like Star Wars. I like, I'm not big on space themed games unless it's Star Trek and Star Wars, basically. Yes, Planet Unknown could be anything. I don't care. The fact that it's Planet Unknown is actually to me, it was like, where's the cat? That would actually, it's like, where did Cleopatra hide? That would be more fun to me of a theme than Planet Unknown, but I understand. I understand the market. I am not the main person in the market that they're trying to sell to. But Super Skill Pinball Star Trek has 4 different scenarios. It plays up to 4 players, but you can play it solo. It costs about $23, so it's not overly expensive. It's a roll and move and write X out things as you're moving your little half ball around your pinball machine. And I don't need it if it went on some super sale, because I have Super Skill Pinball Ramp It Up. I have that. So when I need a touch of that, I can go that. But I wouldn't be against having the Star Trek version. And of course, if you're into Star Trek, that would be the version I would suggest you get. It came out after I got mine, so that's why it's on my wish list. Then there's a game called, capital letters, SUM, Sum 8. And I've seen a video on it when it went on Kickstarter. Cannot find it anywhere. I don't know if it only on that Kickstarter, whatever, but it really looked interesting. It was, you move things around and you're trying to make a path, but things can get moved, kind of like, and it moves these, and you're trying to make 8s. 8s. Yeah. It just was a thinky game. And it runs 20 to 30 minutes, 1 to 2 players. It's a great solo game, which is one of the things that got my attention. It's well liked, but impossible to find. So, yeah, but I'm keeping my eye out for some 8. Then we get to another asterisk of mine, but this time it's Turing Machine, and it's all deduction. And I've talked about Turing Machine in other videos, but it really it'll take as long as you want it to take. Average for a game is 20 minutes. Plays 1 to 4 players, but it's a great solo puzzle to do. You could do one a day and just, use that deduction part of your brain. It is very well loved and hard to find. Right now it was like a Kickstarter. It was very popular. It's sold out. We're waiting for another printing. Game Nerd, Amazon didn't have it. Game Nerds has it priced at $40, but they're out of stock. So I'm just giving you that so that you have a price point in mind. But it's one of the 2 that I am looking for. My Shelfie and Turing Machine are the 2 that I'm most looking for. Anyway, okay, so the next one is Verdant. Verdant is another one of those beautiful cover, beautiful green and lush cover. It's very verdant, very lush. And it runs 45 to 60 minutes, 1 to 5 players, is well loved. And the truth is, I was surprised at the price. I'm looking at that going, nope. You've bought quite a few games in the last couple weeks. You need to stop. Even if it's a really good price, maybe it'll stay that way for a while. The price right now is $29. $29 for Verdant. Again, it's a pattern making, tile laying, that kind of game that I just love. And so it's there, and it's really a good price. And I'm like, So Verdant. And the last one on my list is Walkie Talkie. And it is a very, very, very simple game. It plays 1 to 4, 2 to 8 players, 1 to 4 minutes. It's like, here's a word, can you guess it? Type thing. It's like, it could take a minute, it could take 5. It depends. It's not greatly loved. It's a cooperative game. You're trying to get people to guess the word. And it's selling for $18. So it is the cheapest in this whole list right now, is the $18 for it. And it's kind of like a party game level. It plays up to 8. Think of it as a party game type thing. Just like Green Team Wins is a party game. It plays up to 12. Walkie Talkie plays up to 8. So yeah. And that, my friends, are all of my wish list games left over from last year. I have a wish list already for 2023, which will be another video. But yeah, these wish lists just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. Okay, so I think I'm up to, like, between the ones I bought and the ones that I'm wishing for, we're talking like 57, I think, games now that came out last year, and that's nothing compared to all the games that came out. This is, except for 5 of these here, they're all casual level, whereas medium and medium heavy and heavy games, there's a bunch of those that came out last year as well. I'm just not talking about them here. And so, yeah, so that is my wish list. Leftovers still from last year, 2022. So is there something on your wish list that I did not mention, write it down. Give me a comment. Tell me, what did I miss? What am I missing out? Especially if you know that I like deduction and I like the tile placement, pattern building type of games. Have I missed a game? Is there one that you know of that came out last year that I might not have heard of yet? Let me know. Until next time, happy gaming and God bless you and your family. Bye.